The lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on. I think he missed the complete. That is crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He sliced through. He tags Richard Eck.
Where the East meets the Pacific, and under the rising sun of a Japanese morning, we come to you from Okayama International Circuit on the island nation of Japan. It's the Absolute Beginner League's Formula Neagle Season 12 Championship, round 2 of 7 on the calendar, with all the simulated Skippy action from green flag to victory donuts being brought to you live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Konnichiwa and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our bird's eye view. It's yours truly, Bill Soups on, joined as always by Adam Young. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is the hardest working man in sim race broadcasting, our director, Joe Peak, and the cameras at his disposal have been located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. If you brought cyberspace into your place, then over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the 45 minutes of Skip Barber simulated racing that will immediately follow. Season 12 got underway 2 weeks ago at Watkins Glen. Veterans Errol Num and Pierce Cockey went 1-2, but the surprising news came in two forms. Rookie Diogo Francisco finished third, and Tuan Tran was forced to swallow a 16th place finish. For round 2, we visit an iRacing staple, Okayama. Surprisingly, Formula Neagle has never come here before. So with that in mind, Adam, for the first time on any ABL broadcast, tell the viewers about Okayama.
Yeah, you know, Okayama is one of those tracks in iRacing that once you get started at, you spend a lot of time here going around and around, usually in a Mazda. However, I realized that I hadn't been here in so long, I almost had to remember the layout of this track. Of course, it opened in 1990, hosted F1 events in 94 and 95, and surprise, surprise, in that era, both won by Michael Schumacher. Of course, it's 2.3 miles or 3.7 kilometers in length in 13 turns. You got a couple of good passing zones here, particularly coming out of 4, as that long back straightaway, and then you just fly in that tight chicane there going into turn 5. And of course, the front straightaway is long enough to make a good passing opportunity as well, from going down to turn 11, going down into turn 1. But with that said, Soup, I mean, it's one of those tracks, though, like I mentioned, you spend a lot of time here. Most iRacers, it just kind of becomes ingrained in your muscle memory. It didn't take me long to remember how to drive here from the years ago when I was trying to license up and everything. So I have a feeling that even though these guys out here, they may have taken a few years off from this place, it'll all come back to them pretty quick.
For me, it's like my wife's shepherd pie. You know, as she says, what are we having for dinner tonight? Shepherd pie. Nothing that you're really excited about because it's kind of plain, but boy, once she serves it to you, man, it tastes good. And that's kind of what it's like. I think this one is a little stale for some of the drivers. They don't get as excited to race here, but it puts on great racing. And for me, that's one of my favorite tracks. It's really fun with some great passing zones, especially you come out of the 4, that Atwood curve, then you have that long back straight, Adam, and really sets up for some exciting hairpin action.
It does, and I think you're going to see a lot here for today is a lot of people trying to outbrake each other going into that corner, and at the same time, though, it can get a little bit hairy. I mean, you feel like you almost kind of lose your I guess the best word I can think of right now off the top of my head is spatial orientation. Is because you think it's still further off than what it actually is. I think a lot of it has to do with the banking in that corner too. So it's not only going to be a corner where you're going to try to outbrake people, but it's also going to be a corner we're going to have to watch out for mistakes.
As we ride on board right now, are we riding with, I believe this is Patrick Fliss we're on board with? You get an idea of what it's like to go around this place. Well, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and we'll take a lap around. We can find somebody, and he stops. Let's go ahead, since we don't have a video guide here for you. How about we go ahead, we'll find somebody. There, we got somebody. We'll go on to, how about our points leader, Errol Num? And first up, Adam, is corner number 1, this sweeping right-hander.
Yeah, this is a much faster corner. I think people a lot of times want to give it credit for. And then you kind of quickly transition, start going into the sweeping left-hander here for turn 2.
Then you head all the way down here. Now, for me as a rookie, tell you how stupid I am. I used to pick my braking zone from the shadow on the track, and then when they had change of time of day, that kind of took that away from me as they go now into Atwood. And this is what we talked about, getting a good run off of here. This is a really long back straight as you head down into that hairpin.
It is, and you're getting ready to get an idea. So you're going uphill most of the way down here. So drafting obviously going to be a little bit more important going uphill. Then you kind of dog a little bit left, and then you've got to hit your braking mark. But it always seems like that corner's farther off than what it is. So you've got to make sure you're on the binders hard. There is a reason that there is a huge runoff there going into that chicane.
And then through the hairpin, that passing zone, sometimes that carries over all the way through Revolver and then Piper. And then here's really the best passing zone if you're doing the short layout, and that's into Redmond.
Yeah, and this is one of those ones that It's not going to be the greatest passing opportunity, but people are still going to try anyway. But you got to remember that once you get done with that corner, you got to quickly transition to that right-hander and get on the gas hard. This is going to be real hard. And you got to be real careful that you don't put your wheels too far off to the right. A, it's easy to get an entering pit road violation there, and B, it's easy for that curbing to grab your tire and not let go.
And then just like Lime Rock, you have that wide exit out of that final corner. You want to try to keep it on the pavement. You lose a little traction out there on the dirt. There's a lap around Aero Numb. Now let's go ahead and talk about Aero Numb for a minute, and maybe we can look at the point standings. We're only 2 rounds into the season, so basically these point standings are basically just going to reflect how they did in the opening round that we had in Watkins Glen. And there's Aero Numb, 32 points. That is the max you can get. Pierce Cockey in second, just a few points back. 6 back for, we talked about the new guy here. I believe, well, I'm going to get this wrong. If memory serves, he is from Portugal, not Brazil. Boy, I'm going to get myself, I'll double check on that one. And that's Diogo Francisco. Then there's the old Mama Jean Racing driver, Bastian Hausman in 4th, and David Burns in 5th. Let's go ahead and look at the team championship. Well, this is a little more intriguing as 2 drivers per team, as always in the Formula Neagle series. And so what you have there is Burns and Vincent Breen teamed up for 2 Stupid Dogs, and they sit out in front. Then you have Bush Pink, Aero Numb, and this time he actually has a partner. Poor Aero's always had to do it by himself. He has one, and that's Frederick Neptune. Now, Neptune's not going to score a lot of points, but every little bit helps, especially when you have Aero Numb as your team. In fact, I'm going to talk to Frederick Neptune's agent and see how he got him to be teamed up with the 3-time champion, 4-time champion. Then you have Pierce Cockey and Cooper Collier racing there in 3rd. Tuan Tran is teamed up with Bastian Hausman for Mama Jean Racing, and of course the team in 3rd is Draco Racing. And then Liam Quinn and that's Austin Espity racing for that other damaged beyond recognition team of Team Talent down there in 5th. So there's your team standings. Now let's go ahead, go to something a little more traditional. Let's go ahead and talk about what our race details are today.
You know, and a young season, of course, they're a little bit shorter season as well, trying to fit it in before the holidays here. So we're at round 2 of 7 for this Formula Neagle Absolute Beginners League season. We're going 45 minutes here for today. We are looking at 1 stop for fuel, and I do think we've had some people try to do some crazy things with pit strategy before. I think the long straightaways here kind of preclude any craziness, so 1 stop for fuel here for today. Of course, with open setups. Incident cap is set at 20, and there are no fast repairs here in the Absolute Beginners League.
And then finally, in our continuing quest to find a segment that will stick, we've tried Peaks Podium's picks, but the commentators could never get anything right. We tried the number to know, and that was basically we ran out of numbers to know. So we're going to go this way this season, and that's we're going to go with our spotlighted driver. Each race, we're going to find 1 driver to spotlight. A veteran of the series may not get a lot of attention. Today, as promised, it's going to be Edgar Sanchinelli racing in the number 57 machine. Of course, racing for Frito Sports, the racing team there. And there's a picture of him. We'll check in on him. We'll see how he does in qualifying, follow his progress through the race, and see if he can maybe grab himself about a top 20 today. I think Edgar would be happy with that. And of course, we talked about it in the first round. Adam, Edgar's probably claim to fame would be something not so interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure.
His ability to race the pace car, and
yeah, you know, and always end up flipping. And I do have a distinct memory here of one of the Race of Champions on the short course where he decided to flip it, and I think that was a street stock that time around. Decided to go ahead and put it on its slid here.
Very, very fun guy. Okay, why don't we take this opportunity now? Let's go ahead and see how qualifying is going. Sometimes qualifying is very important, but on these draft tracks, all you really want to do is be close enough so that you can find yourself in the front train. And, well, sure enough, no surprise to see the Rolling Estonian up there, Aero Numb. Now, let's talk a bit about Tuan Tran. Adam, he had a bad first race, finishing 16th, scored a few points, but now he is way back in the points. It's going to be a tough order for him to catch up, especially with no drops, and this only having 7 races in the season.
Yeah, and you've got to count on the guys that are going to be running up front. I mean, because you always know Euronum's going to be up there. You're probably going to have to count on him getting into trouble. But you look, you see Tuan Tran end up moving up to second there on the leaderboards. We're following Valverde. But you got to think about the guys too that come in and run really quick that aren't here week to week. Now, Patrick Fliss, I don't think he was here last week, but here he is back. And of course, he was setting the world on fire at the tail end of last season. And here he is sitting in third in qualifying here. Of course, he led practice. So, but those are all points right now that even if Tuan Tran were to say finish in the top 5 here for today, if Patrick Fliss finishes up there as well, he could potentially be stealing points away from Tuan Tran. So, Tuan's basically got to win out almost for first or second and hope that Euronum has some trouble in order to get back into the fight in this thing.
Yeah, we talked about Patrick Fliss. You talked about him lighting the series on fire. It was he came in late, won his first 3 races, win, looked unstoppable, then had a serious real-world injury that he's recovered from. That's the good news. Great to see Patrick back, and you can tell he's getting faster and faster, getting more comfortable all the time. Qualifying going on right now. Patrick sitting in 4th. All the familiar names up front. Look at that. Num, yes. Tran, Fliss, Burns, Cocky. You're talking about Tran needing trouble from the guys he's chasing. Unfortunately, even if Num were to have trouble, then he's got to hope for Burns and Cocky. There's just so much talent. It's almost impossible to make up the ground.
Yeah, and that was something about there 2 weeks ago is we really didn't know what was going to end up happening in that race. I mean, you had a lot of guys up there contending for the win that are usually more contending for spots in the mid part of the top 10 as opposed to the top part of the top 10. And so it really shook things up. And we're going to have a couple of races on the calendar like that here for this year. I mean, if you think about it, we're going to Nürburgring next. I mean, we all know what that race could do. We're doing Spa, Lime Rock, going to Most Sports, Suzuka. That's what's on tap here for this season. So there's a lot of races out there where we could see the standings shaken up and put on their head.
And we talk about Lime Rock, which is another iRacing staple. The difference between a track like Lime Rock, it's not so draft dependent. Yeah, there's draft down the main straight, but you can defend on that one. Passing is so much tougher, and that's where these technical drivers that really plays into the advantage of Euronum. Here, I think we're looking at another pack race, and that's kind of what the absolute beginners Formula Neagle likes to do. With qualifying done and a large field, why don't we go to the grid a little bit early, as we got to get through 45 drivers. Sitting on the front row, it is the Rolling Estonian Euronum. He's going to be inside of Tuan Tran. Then it is the Slovene machine, Patrick Fliss, inside of David Third Degree Burns. Row 3 is going to be made up of Pierce Shortfield Cocky and Bastian Hausman. The 4th row, Jefferson Padovani and Andrew Leach. And the 5th row, Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn, inside of João Valverde. Adam?
Yeah, and going over to 11th position, Mikhail Hoffenhuizen out there. He's going to start alongside Neil Bamber. Then Vincent Brim and Hugo Hernandez Gutierrez make up row 7. Henry Kamara going to be rolling out there here for today. He's one of those guys that never qualifies too terribly well, but he's always finding himself making him a threat into the top 10. Michelle Rugenbrink starting alongside him in 16th position. 17th and 18th are going to belong to Timothy Roman and Nico Roman. Ludwig Sauer and Alex Meduno del Campos to make up row 10.
In hitting blackjack, it's Joachim Lundgren. In the double duck spot, it is Andy Moore. Austin Espedy in the 23rd spot. It's the zombie appetizer in 24th there, Josh Brain. 25th position is Kevin Mills. Andy Bonar in 26th. 27th, 28th, 29th, and 30th go to our spotlighted driver, Edgar Sancinelli, Jacob Younger, Paulo Preto, and Christian Messe. Adam?
Yeah, and to round out the field here real quick, we had a couple of drivers join right at the end. Richard Kalum, Guillermo Barros, Christopher Hancock, Mark Riddell, Roger Pricken, Tony Hayes, Scott Whiteshine, Cooper Collier, Tony Matthews, Rodrigo Capello. Ferrari did not put down a time here today.
About 28 drivers put in practice. No, let me correct myself on that one. Practice times were 40 drivers put in practice times. There were another 4 or 5 drivers that did not put in qualifying times. I think we're going to have a full field of about 44 drivers. see those drivers that did not put in qualifying times. Vieira is here. Bradshaw is here. So is Cruz. Hodge is here as well. And so is Bland. So I think we're looking at a full field of 44. That's about as big as car field you want to put here on Okayama. You can hear the engine start to harmonize right now. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn, and it is multi-time champion Errol Num, the Rolling Estonian, leading the Stampede into quarter number 1. Tuan Tran, Patrick Fliss, David Third Degree Burns, and Short Bill Pierce Cocky round out your top 5.
Yeah, your first half of the field looks like everybody gets through cleanly here. So already trying to get nose to tail. I do see a few wheels off, some dust back there in the back. But I think for the most part, most of the field is clean.
They got through 2. Now they make it all the way down into 4. This is where it's going to be interesting. This is some passing zones going on down here. They can make some move. They start to go too wide. Really no reason to be too aggressive down there through Atwood, because it's all going to shake out when you hit to the back straight anyway. And it's still Num, Tran, Fliss, Burns, and Cocky. Any action going on? Oh, how about 3 wide back? Can we go back and look at this one? It's Quinn on the top side, Hoffland Dazen on the low side, backing out is Valverde as they all pile in behind him. My gosh, but they get it woed up. Some great racing back there in about 13th. Woo!
Yeah, going from about 13th, going all the way back through the tail end of the field, it was pretty much trying to throw a blanket on them. They really try to close up the gap. It's like while the front part of your field is spreading out, those guys are getting racy back there.
3 wide down the back straight, punched a huge hole for all the guys who were following, and there was a moving parking lot through the hairpin. But they managed to get that going. A little bit of contact now, it looks like, and we have one driver that got off, but he really didn't damage. He just lost a few positions. Let's see who that was, if I can find him there. If I can scroll to it. There we go. It looks like it might have been Josh Brain had some issue. In fact, it looks like Brain's going to pull it over.
Yeah, he actually ended up with both front and rear wing damage. It looks like he, under braking in that corner, he got into, let's see here, the Edgar Ciancinelli.
I hope Edgar can do a little bit. We have another graphic we want to put up. Let's talk about our spotlighted driver, Ciancinelli, qualified in 27th position. Right now, he is out there racing in 26th, so good for him.
Oh, Kevin Mills is around. He was spun in 23rd position.
All that going on. We're covering some of the action in the back. I report that everything is still the same up front. And we're going to look at Mills.
We're going to watch Mills dive to the inside here, and that is going to be Andy Moore that ends up collecting him and sends Kevin Mills around for a ride, and he ended up taking the tow. We'll see if he ends up coming back out there.
All right, we've covered some of the nonsense going on in the back. Let's go up front again. Let's tell you what's going on up here. They are racing very well behaved right now. Now, your timing and scoring is going to be a little bit off there. Errol Num is your leader. One of the back markers took a tow, and our iRacing timing and scoring scores them as the leader because they're ahead of all the guys sitting in pit lane. So just add 1 or subtract 1 from the positions you see on there. Num in first, Tran, Fliss, Burns, and Cocky. Now, the train continues, though. Bastian Hausman is in the lead group. Jefferson Padavani is there as well. Andrew Leach, Mikael Hofflandaisen, Liam Quinn. These guys are all within striking distance. João Valverde goes all the way back to Gutierrez in 13th. Then maybe a bit of a break. Bambi trying to hang on there. So far, the train is close enough for everyone hanging on. Look at, they're coming right at you. You can see how long the train is. All aboard.
And, one thing, too, up front right now, we got Liam Quinn, actually, I say up front. He's in the top quarter of the field. He's running 10th right now, but his teammate, Austin Spetty, ended up running into some trouble. And that's big because, well, they're 5th in the team standings after our race there 2 weeks ago. So he's going to be wanting to try to make up a little bit of ground in that second DBR team.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that second DBR team on that overlay. Let's go ahead and go to 25th position right now. It's Fediata. I believe this is our hard charger. Let's check in on him. He started in 40th position, racing at 25th, up 15 spots. Who's he got next there? How about Jacob Lunger ahead of him? And Andy Bonar as well. So we'll keep an eye there as Rodrigo tried to make his way through the field.
You're not a real big surprise there that he was able to do that. I was kind of surprised he was able to get down a qualifying time. He's a fast guy. Usually he's just outside the top 10, but he's just making waves through the field right now and just taking advantage of what comes in front of him and making a lot of good passes.
41 cars still on the lead lap. 2 cars that are a lap down, Josh Brain and Salim Hodge. Both those cars in the pits right now. Their day probably done.
And you could add Austin Spetty to that list officially, has actually disconnected from the session as well.
You talked about, we just follow up then on the damage beyond recognition there for the team talent. Let's go to second right now. Do we have a pass here? Again, this is Patrick Fliss. You know, I think what we're dealing with here, Adam, is a lot of guys who know the rules of the game. There is absolutely no reason to burn up fuel horsing around there. There is a bonus point, though. That's one of the rules that the series officials put in for leading a lap that tries to prevent this kind of follow the leader attitude. I wouldn't be surprised if Tuan Tran pokes his nose out there eventually, tries to be first across the start-finish line once.
Well, and coming up here, as we head to the hairpin, he was close that last lap, but in his attempt, he lost a lot of ground, and just hasn't been able to get back up underneath the rear wing of Eero Num here just yet. In fact, now with that draft, he's getting a head full of steam. He's just going to run out of real estate, I think, before the corner.
And the train now beginning to uncouple a little bit. Cocky.
Ooh, Eero Num drifts wide.
Boy, he did, but he's able to gather it up. Let's go back. Tran gonna, I think, being aggressive here. Now through Piper. Doesn't have a good exit through 7, and actually might open the door up for Fliss to make a move. Again, I think they're close enough. Boy, here is the most, for me as a beginner, Hobbs. It's like you wait, and finally get to put the gas down. 10 is just a little lift as you go around here, at least in the MX-5, not probably these skippies as well. And then that throws you to the last corner. I think Tran is too far back to get there. Watch out for Fliss now. Now, Adam, again, I think they could do it if they wanted to. They're just racing right now. They're just driving.
Yeah, and we could add another casualty to the list here. Can't find what happened to him, but Paulo Preto is on pit road and out of his vehicle.
Continue. Now you can start to get an idea of that long train that went back about 17 cars. There's a break now at Cocky. I hear some action going on. Liam Quinn, I haven't seen it yet. Did he have an issue? No, he's okay. Don't know why my timing and scoring took me there.
And Cooper Collier and Christian Misi getting into it here on the front straightaway. Contact made, and Christian Misi actually almost ended up going up on his roll bar.
Yeah, I believe that's where we wanted to go there. My goodness, yeah. Somebody got rolled there. I'm not able to find it.
It was Christian Misi that it's Cooper Collier, I think, just misjudged where he was at in the front straightaway, clipped Christian Misi, ended up sending him into that wall and almost up and over. And he had all 4 wheels off the ground for just a moment. I thought he was going to go over, but ended up keeping it for the most part upright. But it came close. You'll see here it just gets all of a sudden just shunted hard left.
Whoa, that's about as far over you can go without going over. No fast repairs in the Formula Neagle.
And I hate to say it, another casualty, it looks like. Guillermo Barros is on pit road. So we're racking up the casualty list here so far, Soup.
We are, but with apologies to their friends and families and fans, Prado, Mills, Espity, Brain, and Hodge, not really your big names. So far, all the top-tier drivers still racing out there. Now we'll look at this battle for 9th position. This is Liam Quinn and Yal Valverde. Valverde is new to the series
Vincent Grimm is off track right now. And he's going to be coming down pit road. Sorry, he may be off track just about a half lap ago. I just got to it, but he's coming down pit road, and he was running, I want to say he was running 13th or 14th for everything here.
And if we can't find that one, I just had Tony Matthews got T-boned as well. Our director's going to look for all these issues. We're going to find the issue with Brame. Of course, Vincent teamed up with David Third Degree Burns for another damaged DVR team.
I think it was just after here. He takes the left. And
there he goes.
Just puts a wheel off and just rides it. And I guess from that, just decided to go ahead and come in. And he's out of the car. He might be calling it a day, even though after I don't think he hit anything.
We're thinking that maybe he had damage before that, the way the car was riding.
That may be possible, that's for sure. But he is officially done for the day. So
we're looking back at the lead pack right now, as there is lots of bumping and banging going on back behind. They're racing pretty passively up there. Let's go quickly to 25th position. Can we look in on Adam Bradshaw? He's in a battle with Cooper Collier and Adrian Cruz. Maybe we can stay on this for a little bit. These guys have really been going at it. And with the leaders behaving themselves, this might be more exciting to watch. They come off the final corner. Let's see if Collier makes a move. No, he's not going to do it. Of course, Collier racing for Draco Racing. That team sits in third in the points. So even these guys are back here in 26th, racing outside the points right now. They can pick up a few more. Boy, some good racing going on from those guys as they still work it out. A lot of talk from Mikel Hoffland.
Yeah, he just got into it a minute ago with Hugo Hernandez Gutierrez, and I'm thinking he picked up some damage from that contact.
Yeah, he is way off the pace. Hofflandaisen qualified in 11th. Our director has found it, we think. So we're looking at the AM Racing Team driver teamed up with Andrew Leach. And you can just see how slow he is here. This might be after him, the guys just go around him. Yeah, must have been before that. You can see the aftermath of the accident, though. So now we are back live. So what's going on up in front? Have we missed anything up there? Well, let's see what's going on. It is still numb. Oh no! And here we go. Let's look at this now. This is our leader it's Tron Tran has taken over the lead, and Fliss got around Numb. We'll see how long we can see if we can find that pass. I imagine it was a pretty friendly one. I'm rewinding right now to see if it happened on this lap or if it was a lap back from there. I think it was one lap back.
He finally got them going down the long back straightaway.
Yeah, and he was
able to make that move, and Patrick Fliss even tried to squeeze to go it with them, but Euro Numb was able to defend against Patrick there for at least a moment. Actually, he lost it for a second to Patrick and had to give it back.
I think we're going to go ahead and take a look at this. Let's stay on this here. It's going to come up pretty soon. There's Numb up in front. Yeah, we're going to be right here on this long straight. What's interesting, Adam, you called it, what's interesting is not the pass for the lead. It's what
while we were watching it, Patrick Fliss was just able to take it away from Twan Tran, so we'll see that here in a minute as well.
There you see Tran in the purple and black Mama Jean car, but then there was Fliss in there. You can tell he was interested in getting those points. And this might be a case, Adam, as these guys are now swapping for positions. A couple things might be going on. They might want to be picking up bonus points for leading a lap. On the other hand, we've seen Errol Numb not want to use up his fuel doing all the work. He might be saying, I don't need to be out in front the whole time. Plus, he tends to like to get farther a little bit back so he can see the trouble ahead of him. I think he feels a little bit more. He is a little bit more in control when he can see what's in front of him than guys coming up behind him.
Well, not only that, but there's also no better guy in this series, I think, as far as getting on and getting off pit road efficiently than Euro Numb. He always makes up so much time there. So he's not worried about sitting in third right now, for sure. All
right. We've rolled the dice long enough. Maybe we can go back and take a look at our featured driver here, our spotlighted driver. That's Edgar Sancinelli. Well, how's he doing? He started in 27th position, qualified there, and he is racing right now in, I believe, 25th. There's some stats for you. His career starts, he's got 37, that's 9th overall. Total laps, 1,059, that's 8th overall. His best result was a 10th, that's back in Season 9 at Mid-Ohio. Now, I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing poll question or if we're going to get a new one of these every time. It's kind of out of my hands. Pizza versus burger, and the answer for Sancinelli is burger. That's a hard one. I would have to go with pizza on that one. Of course, you can see that flag up there, the blue and white. That is the, if I know my nations, I believe that's Argentina. So there's our focus driver today, racing in 25th position, up 2 spots. Let's go up front and see what's happening here. They've decided to let Fliss do the work right now. Tran behind him. Some leaders ahead of him. Kevin Mills running in 41st position, a couple laps down. 5 to be precise. It's going to be the first one. Adam, how about we ride on Shortfield? He's the last car in this 5-car train. You can see what's going on.
You know, and with a whole Shortfield there, I always worry about him in these short races. I just knew. I mean, there's a reason he has the nickname. Although it hasn't happened to him in a really long time. So you got to be nice to him.
Well, you look at them going back and forth as Fliss trying to break the draft.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's not so much about the bonus point soup is right now as far as these guys. I mean, they're getting a little bit more active up front between weaving and defending and stuff like that now. I wonder if they're just trying to get themselves set up in a good spot to hit pit road here in a little bit, because those pit stops are going to be on us before we know it.
And that's another part of the strategy. If you're aero numb, you're back there behind a couple guys, you get to decide if they come in. You get to decide if you want to stay out one extra lap. If you're leading and you come in, they can just follow you in. So maybe he feels a little more in control.
And we're hearing reports a good battle for 6th position, and it looks like Padovani, Hausman, and Leach have all been back here fighting for 6th, 7th, and 8th. In fact, you watch Leach goes sideways. They're right alongside Bastian Hausman, and ended up, I think he would have that pass. I think he would have had the run going down the front straightaway if he hadn't stuck that thing at about a 45-degree angle through the last corner.
Hausman just about a second off the front train, close enough that a good pit stop will get him back in the mix. Being chased by Andrew Leach. Liam Quinn back there in 9th continues to be in that, I'm going to use the term loosely, battle with Valverde. Look at those guys. I think they're just putting in the laps right now. These guys have all raced long enough to know that nothing can really be decided here with 27 minutes of racing to go. Kind of let's wait to see how things sort out after the pit stops, and then we'll see what we need to do. Maybe 13th director? Oh, we're looking there. Well, hang on. We're looking at that battle. Looks like Quinn's going to be able to hang on. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to 30. This is Roman being passed on the inside. This is Ludwig Sauer. You know, I call it sometimes the sister series. There really is no relationship between this one and the MX5 World Tour, other than it races on the same time slot on the weekends, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. But you'll see a lot of cross-pollination here. Ludwig Sauer, one of those drivers, racing in both, along with Errol Num and Patrick Fliss, David Burns. Sauer up to 13th, getting around Roman. Then one of our favorites back there in 15th, Henrik Camara. Adam, nice to see him out there having a good run.
Yep, you know, he's one of those guys that you see. Was that Henrik? I think that was Henrik there diving off to pit road. He's one of those guys that he really showed a lot of promise when he first joined the series, and we know he has the talent to try to run, you know, in the top 10, but haven't seen it too much the last couple of races, and I hope he's able to find the speed back once again, because you know, when he's up there racing, he's one of the hardest guys out there to race, that's for sure.
As they come in, Now, from 6th position, Bastian Hausman brings the black and purple Mama Jean car in. He's going to fall back.
Now we're seeing a lot of these guys probably pit on the early side of the pit window. Our leaders, particularly when we start talking about Tuan Tran and Euro Num, they have a tendency to pit on the other side of the pit window. So it still might be a little bit here before we start seeing the top 5 come in, even though you're going to start seeing cars come in and out from here on out.
There's Lundgren making a move as he gets around Nico Roman. Now, just to make sure I'm not seeing double here, in 15th position is Nico Roman. In 16th position, well, I'm sorry, there were 2 Romans there a minute. Oh, we lost one. Timothy is up in 13th. There we go. Feel like I'm in Italy here with all these Romans around.
Oh,
Sauer up in 12th. Sorry. I'm going back to back. I just did the Classic Team Championship over there in the Lotus 79. I had about a 5-minute break to come on over to this absolute beginner league.
Did they have a lot of Greek names?
It was rough. Kevin Mills getting out of the way of some drivers going around. How about we talk about 10th position, just to give a little love to Bambi. Another driver that I called in the race yesterday in the MX-5 World Tour. Neil Bamber racing in 10th.
You should take a look here at Liam Quinn and Valverde, and Zhao is showing some speed here the last few laps, and be looking for him to try to make a move.
Fastest lap right now, and this is a little misleading because I think it was probably draft dated. So we look at this pass going on. Here we go, and that is Valverde making the move on Quinn. Make sure I had that right. I think I got that one back. No, that's it. We got it right. Fastest lap is Pierce Cockey. Hasn't led a lap yet, and I think this is probably draft aided. He's just sitting back at the tail of the train and just making a ground whenever they offer it to him.
Like as soon as Patrick Fliss got up out front, that entire front pack of 5 really calmed down at least for a little
bit. Looking at Aero Num, coming off the 2nd place finish yesterday in the MX-5 World Tour, racing in 3rd right now.
Another little pack we should give a shout out here to is this pack from 12th going on back. So you got Roman, Sauer, Lundgren, and then Roman. So you got there's your Romans once again there, Soup. Kind of bookending this little pack here, and they're starting to feel the heat. I think with pit stops on the horizon for these guys as well, trying to get themselves in a good spot.
Oh, we got to go to Pierce Cockey about 20 seconds ago. Looked like going into Atwood, and she went boom. I think stay on it here. It's coming up. What do you think? A downshift here?
Yeah, he was downshifting at the time, and I was able to run about 5 or 6 laps here earlier on, and where I was finding the shift points at and everything else, I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit worried that we might see this a time or two today, and Pierce Cockey, a victim.
And now something that happened to Burns. He's off the pace. He blew an engine. This is going into the hairpin, same lap.
Oh man.
First the driver in 5th, next the driver in 4th. Errol Num, it's coming your way.
Once again, it was on the downshift. and David Burns is making sure that Pierce Cockey knows that he felt sorry for him and he thought he'd join him. So, man, the tough break for those two guys.
But this takes on huge, big picture ramifications. We talked about it in the pre-race show, the troubles for Tuan Tran, how he would need bad luck from the guys in front of him, and there were so many guys. Well, there's 2 right there, guys he needs to catch. Pierce Cocky and David Burns, they're going to score 0 points this race. Woohoo! The plot thickens.
Man, we're going to have to see how this is going to shape up, because now everybody that has either been drafting or just letting the engine rev in that manner is now going to have to be on notice that it might not last the entire way. You've got to be careful.
I guess that's good news for Fliss and Tran and Num, as they have 2 top-tier drivers less to worry about.
At the same time, though, they're kind of theorizing that about, if it was just because they were back in the draft the entire time. Well, Euro Num's been back there now a while as well, so I wouldn't be surprised now to see these guys maybe pit a little bit sooner than maybe what they were planning on.
Yeah, what I would be worried about, and this is not me blowing an engine. This is mistakes made by some quality drivers.
Hey, look at that! Rodrigo Capello Ferrari back on the move once again.
As he is up to 15th spot, he gets around Andy Moore. Moore's not done though. Moore trying to look to the outside, trying to get a little bite off of here. Now they go through Hobbs. Let's stay on this one, because I wouldn't be surprised if Moore doesn't try to get him after they get around here going. Oh, and up. That's one way to avoid trouble. Come on in and take a pit stop.
Now, real quick, I got to ask our director if he has a way to show the drivers' helmets, if we have a camera facing the driver, because Alex Meduno del Campo, I think, has the most unique helmet in this entire field, and it is fittingly Halloween season once we see it here.
When I looked at it, it scared
I
me.
hope he runs that the entire month.
And help me out. I could be wrong. What color is that car? Is it green or orange? Oh, it's green. All right. That's beautiful.
I just had to point that out. Of course, he's running 13th right now. That's Kevin Mills that you see behind him, and you got to go back a little bit before he's in danger of losing 14th to Rodrigo. But Rodrigo's coming, man. Rodrigo has himself a good car here for today.
You wonder if trick or treat, I'm not sure if that actually translates across the Atlantic. Where is DeCampo from? DeCampo hails, oh, he's from Brazil, so I don't need to go. I just need to go south of the equator. Yeah. Something tells me that All Saints Day in Brazil, probably a pretty fun time. Yes. Dia de los Muertos. There's a reason to celebrate. Brazil's a good country to be in. Fliss, Tran, and Num. 1, 2, 3. And that's the way they decided to race for a while after they've dropped David Third Degree Bearings and Short Bill Cocky.
See that little mistake there by Tuan? Put some wheels off in the grass. He's not going to lose a whole lot of time for it, but it almost seemed like it was just a momentary lapse in concentration or something.
17 minutes of racing left. Num has a 6-second gap over Jefferson Padovani. Let's look at that. This battle for fourth right now, it's Padovani and Leach. And we're on that one. And again, they're just waiting for the pit stops. Things are going to heat up in a minute.
Yeah, I would not be surprised to see the leaders come in here this time by, but we'll know here in just like you said, just a minute.
We can't forget about Bastian Hausman. This is what my dad used to call the early peel, late reveal. Remember, Hausman was racing up pretty well near the front. He's come out ahead of the other driver who's pitted, Liam Quinn. Hausman is the leader of all the cars who've pitted, racing in 14th spot. Still on the lead lap.
Leaders are going to go around one more time.
How about another blown engine for Michael Rudenbrink? This happened just as I started to talk about it. And we don't. It's he was racing in 19th spot at the time.
I gotta see, just out of curiosity, based on the theory we were working with, was he running it really in a lot of traffic leading up to that? He really wasn't. He had enough distance between him and Kamara that his engine should be getting some air. So that might, I don't know. I'm thinking we're going to have a trouble here with downshifting. I mean, we still got plenty of time left in this race too.
As we look at our leaders, it is a 36-second bogey time from Fliss back to Bastian Hausman. Should be plenty of time for him to get in and out of the pit stop without Bastian catching him. But not so much for drivers like Padovani and Leach. So look for Hausman to sneak a top 5 finish. How about we go to the leaders right now? We're looking as they're coming up on some battles here. This is a battle between Whitestein and Collier, a battle for 26th position. They are on the lead lap. This is legitimately being passed now. Collier being shown the blue flag, but also would like to get around Whitestein, but no. They're going to let him go. Ooh, some close confine racing, and this is probably not the best place to try to
and Euro's going to take full advantage of that. Look at that pit entry by Euro Num, knowing that those guys were still having to fight around traffic. And that is why Euro Num is one of the best at getting on, getting off pit road. He had just cleared Cooper Collier, saw his window, and dove right in.
And that's why I think he wanted to be in third. It gives him the option of making the decision, doing what he wants. Now the question is, will Fliss and Tran cover? I think they almost have to. Although, those two drivers could say, if we do a little leapfrogging now, maybe we can put in some lap times and see if we can lose Num.
I'm just hoping that this was in the plans for them. Like, I'm hoping they have enough fuel to go back around one more time, and that the Whitestein Collier combination didn't force them out onto the road
to miss their pit box and to miss the entry. Yeah, we'll find out here with about 13. Honestly, Adam, this is the pit windows are pretty big, but getting to the point now, it's got to be pretty soon. Look at Fliss actually pulling away. Tran doing nothing as far as leapfrogging. They're just putting in the time. Let's go ahead and follow up on Num. He should be out of his box by now. And into Atwood, he has slotted into 10th position. Obviously, the leaders of all the cars who have pitted ahead of Hausman. And just to give you a little bit of an idea, it's 10 seconds from Num to Hausman. So that means Hausman has a shot at maybe jumping Padovani or Leach, maybe Neil Bamber. All right, let's see what our leaders do here as they come around. And no, they're going to go around. Oh, no! I think he got confused. Tran got into the back. Was that Fliss?
That was Fliss got confused. There was a car. It was Guillermo Barros that was kind of running slow there, right on the inside, right at pit entry as well. And I think they may have both intended to go down, but had that car there, and that was just chaos there. So bad luck strikes Tuan Tran yet again.
Yeah, Fliss wanted to come in, you can see, but there's just no room. Fliss was trying to get around the outside, no room. He had to slow up, and then Tran again. Oh my goodness. And it just spotlights the brilliance of Errol Num, who avoided all of that.
Now, yeah, I think Tuan Tran, based on where that was, I think he'll even get a penalty here, even if his car is able to keep going. So that's just a double unfortunate. And now we got to wonder what kind of damage he might have, what kind of damage Patrick Fliss might have, because Fliss got that nose cone right into the rear suspension.
Yeah, the rear end was up off the ground. There were 5 cars in the lead train. Fliss makes contact with Tran. Cocky blows an engine. Burns blows an engine. The only man left standing, Errol Num. So let's see what Fliss can do. He is your leader. I just hope he has enough fuel to get around. I hope he wasn't running it dry. Now he comes in.
And he's charging that pit entry hard. So I mean, he's still hoping for the best here.
Padovani and Leach follow. Fliss is close. That is going to make our leader, I think it's going to be, if he decides to go around, Joachim Lundgren. If he decides to go around, nope, Joachim's going to have to come in as well, as does Sauer, as does Roman, and Num stays out. Fliss is coming out. Wasn't as horrible as it could have been. Looks like he's going to slot out in second. Five seconds back from the leader, 6 seconds up on Padovani. And let me correct myself, he slots out in third as Del Campo is out there racing in second right now, has yet to come in. In the Halloween helmet, yeah.
And Fliss was quite a bit slower down pit lane, in pit road too. I have a feeling that he decided to go ahead and maybe take a few seconds at the repairs also. So it wouldn't surprise me at all, kind of knowing that the game was up. It could still be a contender for second. Now we've got to see if the engines all hold up here for the last 10 minutes.
What happened to Tuan Tran? Well, he races in 10th. Damage on the front of his car.
Looking now at Padovani, Leach, and Bastian Hausman out there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. And so these guys hoping to take advantage of a few bad days and try to maybe do what they can with it. And you never know. Could still, this actually, once everything cycles out and Del Campo comes down, this will be the fight for the 3rd spot on the podium.
Remember, Padovani and Leach were in that battle. Hausman was in it as well, but he took that early peel. And sure enough, he comes out in a battle for 4th. Which, like you said, should be a battle for 3rd here. DeCampo must have come in. Yeah, DeCampo finally came in. So this is now a battle for 3rd. And could actually be a battle for 2nd. Not sure how quick Fliss is. Let's look at his last lap. Fliss put in a 146. Padovani a 146. So the damage.
And I think some of that was still
part of the lap.
Pit out.
Okay, yeah.
Pit out lap.
Yeah,
so this next time by will give us a good indication here.
Well, all Errol Numney really cares about is 5.4 seconds that he has over Fliss. Just under 8 minutes of racing to go.
Now, if you're Euro Num, I hate to say it because it's not his character type at all, but seeing the guys around you have engine trouble, would you kind of run a little bit off throttle and preserve your engine as we're still watching this battle here, which is now it is actually for 3rd?
Yeah, as we look at it, I would think he would. We talked about this, the passing zone going all the way from the hairpin all the way through Piper. There you see it, as that's out in front. Oh no, catch it gathered up there. And that was Padovani who got a little bit loose. That's going to open the door for Hausman, who steps through. Leach now running in that final podium spot. This is going to be some good racing. Hausman now into 4th. Let's go on board, take a look at this one. Padovani having a moment. It's going to be right around this corner. Oh, here you see that car, those hands going all the way to the left. I just have to admire that. That's the kiss of death for me. When my hands get that sideways, the car is not going to end up going straight. These guys are so
Want to give another shout out here, just real quick. Good battle for 13th going on between Hugo Hernandez Gutierrez and Alex Meduno Del Campo. Talked about both those guys a little bit here today. So you see Del Campo, he's going to go ahead and try to make a move down the front straightaway. Gutierrez tries to defend. I think he's still going to be able to get that good run on the outside. Del Campo doesn't force the issue there.
Good racing going on. Let's go ahead and spotlight our driver again. Edgar Sancinelli, give him a little rub, racing in 22nd position all by himself. This is what he does. He stays out of trouble, brings the car home. If I had a race team, I'd hire him because I know I would not be spending a lot of money on car repairs. Good run from Sancinelli, up 5 spots. How about 3rd? Leach, Hausman, and Padavani. And here comes the purple and black cover. He's going to back out of Mama Jean Racing. Leach up there for the AM Racing team, trying to get his team on that top 5 overlay. And Padavani in this battle as well.
Also want to give another shout out, another good battle here. 6th, 7th, and 8th, just behind these guys, is heating up also between Valverde, Liam Quinn, and Neil Bamber. So Bambi up there making up a couple more spots.
4 spots from where he started. Liam Quinn, Mr. Excitement, having a good run. João Valverde. Just under 5 minutes to go. Battles for 3rd, battles for 6th. Let's go to the one for 3rd right now. And I think this one is a little more ferocious than the one for 6th. This is Hausman looking all the way around, looking to the right, looking to the left. Almost gets into the back of Leach, but doesn't. In the classic popcorn position is Jefferson Padavani. Jefferson decides to put down the popcorn and get in the show. 1 wide, 2 wide, it's going to be 3 wide. No, Padavani's going to wait. Here comes Hausman making the move. Boy, he's trying to keep the driver to the top side there. And Leach is pinned up high. Hausman gets the pass made. Padavani trying to get into it as well as they work now. Through Revolver into Piper. Just under 4 minutes to go. All this going on behind Aeronum and Patrick Bliss, who run comfortably in 1st and 2nd. We ride on board with Padavani. Gets right up on the back of Leach, then gets off of him. Hancock had a little spin from 26th position.
Oh, is that Twan?
It was. Oh, you got to stay on Padavani. Just stay on Hancock.
Oh, that was Hausman.
It was Hausman who got him. If we thought it was Tran, it was the mirrored car.
Maybe, I don't know. We got to see this. Actually, I wonder if Hausman got by him here.
I think it was Tran. No, I think
that was Tran.
Yeah, here we go. Let's go back to Hancock. Here comes Tran. There it is. That's Hancock. And my gosh, Hancock was wandering all around the pavement. Oh, it's one thing to bring your car out in front, but then it's another thing to take I hate to be critical, but what is Tran supposed to do here?
Yeah, Twan, he committed. He thought he was going where he was going to go, and it almost looked like Hancock's car just hooked once he got on the gas.
Maybe got on the gas and turned it around. That's exactly what you're supposed to go behind the car because it's safer that way. Let's go to Quinn real quick. We get back live. Bamber making a move on Quinn. This was just over 2 minutes of racing to go. A battle for 7th spot. Boy, Quinn locks him up. He keeps it on the inside. Gives 7th to Bamber. Quinn back to 8th. All that going on behind Valverde. That battle going on, and then of course we have to check back in. I hate to do it to you, we're jumping you around. Let's go to Hausman, Leach, and Padavani. This is the battle for the final podium spot. This one, they're being a little more patient. I think this is going to heat up as soon as they see the white flag. And coming off that final corner, it's a pretty long drag down to the start-finish line. There's enough time if you get a good run off of the appropriately named corner 11, which is called last corner. I hope somebody didn't get paid for that one. There's enough time to make the pass before the start-finish line. Hendrick Camara blew an engine. My goodness, he was racing in 17th. We lose another one. 53 seconds of racing to go. I do not believe we are on the white flag lap yet. I'll have to be careful. Our leader working his way down the backstretch, heading towards the hairpin. Patrick Bliss in 2nd. Hausman, Leach, and Padavani coming down towards the hairpin right now.
Yeah, those guys are racing like it's the last lap right now.
Hausman taking a defensive line. Leach through the middle. Oop, I'm a little bit behind. Sorry about that. Let's check back in on our leader.
I'll have to see. Who don't know if this is the last lap or not. It's be close. Nope. I think we're gonna get the. You might get the white here.
Go around here with 5 seconds. So he's got a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time has run out. He crosses, but I believe he's going to get one more time around. So, Numb and Fliss running 1-2 comfortably. Let's give most of our attention here then to third position this time, and I don't think anything's going to happen, actually, probably till we get to the hairpin. We'll try to cover the leader when he crosses the start-finish line, and this battle as well between, right now, Hausman, Leach, and Padavani. Padavani, I can't read that emblem. I believe he might be an independent. Is that what that says down there? I believe so. Leach Racing for Am Racing. Hausman, of course, in the purple and black attack of Mama Jean. Errol Numb for Bushfink Pink. His partner is not here today, Frederick Neptune. Now we have a pass. Here we go. Let's watch it, Hausman taking the defensive line as they go through the hairpin. An eye on our leaders. And Leach, oh my goodness, a sorry from Hausman as Leach just got bumped. Now we jump up to the leader here, so I'm trying to see where he is. Coming around the final corner. Round number 2 of the Formula Eagles Absolute Beginner League goes to Errol Numb. Second place is going to go to Patrick Fliss. We can jump back. Let's watch Hausman in a battle. That's Padavani up in front. And I believe Padavani is going to get that final podium spot as he weaves back across, making sure Hausman has nothing for him. Hausman has to settle for 4th. Leach got pushed off, but nevertheless, he's going to take 5th position. Let's see if we can pick up a battle anywhere else back there. How about Gutierrez? Let's go to Gutierrez for 11th. This is Gutierrez, and then the ghost of Campo chasing him. It looks like it's going to be Gutierrez in 11th. 12th for Campo.
Oh, who's that smoking back there? Oh, Nico Roman's engine almost makes it.
Another one. And Nico is going to lose a ton of spots for blowing that engine. We're going to go back and look at what happened here. We might, I missed it. I'm not sure if we had it on screen live. This is Hausman, Leach, and Padavani, where Leach gets the worst of it. Okay, now this is Hausman. He's the leader of the pack. That's Leach on the outside. We go into the hairpin. Hausman tries to keep the car down. Oh, you can see him crossing over. And not only that bumps Leach off, but then that opens the door for Padavani, who says, "Thank you very much, boys. I'll take that final podium spot." All right, the racing is over here in Japan, but our broadcast is not. What we're going to do right now is take a short break, then we'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to the drivers before we put a lock on Okayama. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of the Absolute Beginner League's Formula Neagle round number 2 from Okayama. That is in the books. Let's run down the finishing order now. Well, once again, it is the Roland Estonia. He goes 2 for 2 so far this season with a win. Patrick Fliss comes in second. Kind of a survival for second position there. Jefferson Padavani, able to outmaneuver Bastian Hausman and Andrew Leach for that final podium position. Hausman and Leach go 4th and 5th. Jal Valverde in 6th. Neil Bamber, a nice run for him in 7th. Mr. Excitement, Liam Quinn in 8th. 9th and 10th go to Joachim Lundgren and Ludwig Sauer.
And then going to 11th position, you'll find Hugo Hernandez Gutierrez and Alex Meduno del Campo coming home in 11th and 12th. Fantastic battle between the two of them. Rodrigo Capitolato Ferrari coming home in 13th. Hey, he's our hard charger of the race. 14th goes to Timothy Roman. Andy Bonar, Adrian Garcia Cruz finished 15th and 16th. Nico Roman loses a couple of those spots right there at the end of the race with a blown engine, came coasting across the line, followed by Andy Moore, Jacob Younger, and Edgar Sanchinelli.
Hey, how about that? Our spotlight driver, the last car on the lead lap. Nice job for Edgar. Now, I like it when the drivers cooperate, put all the cars one lap down on a fresh overlay. Hidden Blackjack, Cooper Collier, double duck spot goes to Scott Whitestein. Richard Colum, Roger Pritkin, and Christopher Hancock go 23rd, 24th, 25th. We saw Hancock have trouble with Tuan Tran. Tony Hayes, Henrik Kamara, a lot of these guys had blown engines. Tuan Tran, boy, the opportunity was there, and then he got caught up on the attrition that also caught up a lot of his competitors. Josh Brain and Guillermo Barros in 30th position. Adam?
And going home in 31st here is going to be Kevin Mills, Michelle Rugenbrink at 32nd, David Burns and Piers Cockey, both of them having blown engines on the same lap, 33rd and 34th. 35th is going to go to Adam Bradshaw. Mikhail Hoffendays are running into some trouble. He's going to come home 36th. Daryl Bland, Vincent Brem, Tony Matthews, and Mark Rodell round out 37th through 40th.
And then the final drivers are, that we'll just round these out here, we have Christian Messe down there, Paulo Prado, Austin Espati, and Salim Hodge, the final 4 drivers. Let's go ahead and take this opportunity to talk to our race winner. He is the Roland Estonian. He is Errol Num. He goes 2 for 2 so far this season. I got a couple questions for you. First of all, Errol, let's talk about mid-race. You were leading the pack, and then you decided to go back to 3rd. Did you get shuffled back there, or was 3rd position where you wanted to race from?
Let's say I can't give up my secrets.
All right. First into the pit again. You saw the opportunity. This one, though, maybe you can give me a little bit of information. Do you realize that there were so many blown engines out there that Burns blew an engine and Cockey blew an engine? Your top 2 competitors are up there, and there were about 3 or 4 more. Do you have any idea why that might happen? In all the practice that you did you ever have engine problems?
I can't remember blowing engine ever, but I think they were fuel saving behind us, and coming to braking zone, if you fuel save, your speed is different and your downshift may be too fast. I think that's the problem.
You know what? That's really helpful. That's really good. Okay, well, you got another win here on this one. It's kind of nice to have a pit stop. You were still in the hunt at the time. How did your pit stop go this time? Were you pleased with it? I know sometimes that's an issue for you. It looks like you got a pretty good one.
Well, the fuel was kind of risky because I was going so slow behind the first 2, so my fuel numbers were much lower, and I took a little bit more, but it was almost perfect.
Well, you're 2 for 2, and what makes it even more interesting now with not only Tran having trouble again, and then Cockey and Burns also blowing engines, you should have a pretty safe points lead. I think you can even afford to have a bad race now and still be in the hunt for the championship.
It's too early. I think Bastian Hausman is second, 18 points behind, so it's still a lot to play for.
Right, you got to be careful. All right, congratulations on 2-2. So far, so good. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thank you.
The Roland Estonian Errol Num, as he as he picks up Adam, it's interesting. I tried to get something out of him. He's not giving up his strategy.
Well, if I was him, I wouldn't give away my secrets either.
How about, do you want to talk to the Slovene machine, Patrick Fliss, who came in second place?
Yeah. Hey, Patrick, great run today, but not a mistake-free run. Tell us a little bit about that pit entry problem there with Tuan.
Yeah, hi guys. I'm not gonna make any excuses. I'm just gonna say what happened. Basically, we were coming up on lap traffic, and one guy went to the right really early, and I thought he was letting us by. And then, because you can enter the pit lane way more to the left, and you can cut across to enter over the line. It's much faster that way. I was going for that pit stop thinking the guy was already far behind, but then suddenly it said car right, and I didn't know how to react, and I stepped on the brakes on the apex, and Tuan got into me. So really sorry again to Tuan, wanna say again.
Well, even despite that, you still ran yourself a fantastic race, and you were able to stay up. But I don't believe you were ever any lower than third going through. And the big story, though, behind you was some blown engines. Now, Soup asked Euro about it. I'm going to ask you, too. Did you have any inclination during practice or anything else with this car that you might have some engine problems in this race here today?
Yeah, no, some people say that it overheats in draft, but I'm not a believer in that. I think it's just too fast downshifting, but maybe, but it never happened to me, and I've done a lot of races in draft.
And one last question for you, Patrick. Obviously last season you had your own personal injury and everything else. How's your recovery going? You feeling much better?
Yeah, I feel great now. Just not allowed to lift up heavy objects, but that's all.
Well, hey, that's good news. We're going to see you here the rest of the races this season?
Yeah, I'll come, but yeah, it's kind of sour taste ruining Tuan's season.
Patrick, I watched it from above. I wouldn't give yourself too much of a hard time. That was just kind of a bad situation to be in there. That was kind of bad luck. I would. I know you like to race clean, but my goodness, what you going to do there in that situation? Okay. Hey, let me just follow up on this. See how long you can keep those instructions for not having to list heavy objects. You know what? If you can run that for another 20 years, that's how I would play it.
Well, supposedly it's gonna be like 2 or 3 more months, but yeah, we'll see about that. The rods go out next year, so we'll see.
Glad you're feeling better.
Thank you. Bye.
Patrick Fliss, your second place finisher. Patrick's a good guy, Adam. You can tell he was not. He didn't feel good about what happened with Trant.
No, we've seen that, with him before, as far as his good character and everything else, and he's definitely a guy that you want racing against, because right. He's going to make every effort to race against you clean. There's
a difference between being aggressive and taking somebody, and then just getting in a weird situation where, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And sometimes you just don't things don't work out the way you want. We're going to wrap this up with one of our favorite interviews. It is Mikael Hafledesen. Did not have a good finish today, but his partner did. I seem like sometimes I'm always talking about your partner. That's Adam Leach. Talk about your race.
Yeah, obviously Andrew did a great race. I think he got P5 in the end. But yeah, my race ended too early with contact with Hugo. After being a little bit aggressive on me into turn 1. So yeah, it's a little bit sad to see, but I had a good run and it ended early.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, since this kind of is the theme of our interviews here, we've talked to some of the top drivers, and that's about the blown engines. We saw a couple top drivers blow engines, and then there were probably another 4 or 5 throughout the field. In all of your practice time, have you had issues with engines blowing?
Never in my iRacing career I have blown an engine on like
in this
hot days.
Well, we will hope for a better race from you next time. Let me check my thing and see where we're going. Maybe you can give us an idea.
We're going to Northlife.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, like that one?
Yeah, it's my favorite track. I've been pushing to get it on the calendar since I started racing, and now I finally have it. So I'm very happy and excited for that one.
Okay, then no excuses next time. Let's see. How about a podium? Let's get a podium there.
Hey, I'm gonna get the win. I'm gonna redeem myself now.
Right. Congratulations.
You better watch out.
Right. We'll look forward. I'm marking it down in the script. Good luck to you, and we'll see you. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Thank you.
That's always a fun guy to interview. That's going to do it for us here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'd like to thank everybody in the Absolute Beginner League for contracting with GSRC to broadcast their races. We know you have a lot of choices when you fly. Thanks for flying GSRC. Thanks to the company's equipment and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast. Special thanks to Eric Echolm and Casey Lalonde for providing the background music used today. See the screen for how to contact them. Adam?
Yeah, next up for the Formula Neagle, well, guess what? We normally do every 2 weeks. No, we're going to be right back next week.
Really?
October 15th, Nürburgring at the Nordschleife. GSRC is going to be there. We're going to hope you join us. Hey, don't worry, Soup. We're coming back next week, but then we get like 3 weeks off. So, hey, just the way it works this year. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including dates and times for all upcoming broadcasts, your best bet is globalsimracingchannel.com. We're also on Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook at /Global Sim Racing Channel.
I'm glad I'm paying attention to the closing part of the show, or I might have missed that broadcast. Finally, on behalf of the man here who seems to know what's going on, Adam Young, our director Joe Peak, and our camera artist Dougie Beard, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm of the castle. So until next time, which will be in 7 days, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.